All right. But yes, February 25th, 9:47 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. I've been here many times before. This is the defendant lobby, all right, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? Where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Who is that? Oh, it's Edgeworth! Edgeworth! Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Well, Edgeworth is okay now. Well, I mean, he's still kind of a jerk, but he's a better jerk than he was at the beginning. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. Oh yeah, it's usually always Edgeworth or Phoenix. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right, and Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. Who's the head? Oh, I remember that song, too. Wow. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. It's the first time he's ever done something like this. Head rocks, yeah. Len is hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her with a pencil. The truth? Everything goes back to this SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past, but we have to, Edgeworth. That depends on you. Dun, dun, dun. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. Yeah. Oh, think about it. Is that right, Edgeworth? See you in court, right? This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now! February 25th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. I'm sorry if I'm clearing my throat a lot. I'm not sick. It's just right before screening. I ate far too many. I got, like, the cheap-ass, like, generic Oreos, and I was, like, munching on those, and I'm like, I need to stop eating, and I need to stream. Flashes on your game thing. Is Ace Attorney, or is that what you were trying to fix? Wait, little flashes? Sometimes there's little flashes on Ace Attorney. Like on the capture? Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I mean, like the HD 60, sometimes it'll just kind of like blip out, but I haven't seen it blip yet. At least, usually if it blips out for you guys, it blips for me. Okay. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. A proposal? Chief Gant, what? Wait. Can he really? A lot of this seems very not good. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, you been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning in enough work, as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. I don't think he was joking. He literally has a lot to do. He's a judge. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Okay, I hate his pauses. I hate them so much. Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. Seems kind of sketch to me. What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. What? Huh? Yeah, what? I confess to all charges against me. No? On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman. No, he was already dead in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. What the fuck? No, Lana, what the, no! What is she holding behind her back? Or is that just how she holds her arm? Oh wait, no, because her hand is all bandaged. You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. What? No! What? No! But, Lana, Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an— What? Fuck, no! The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Yeah, it's a very animated game, so maybe there's a lot of flashy stuff that happens, or just scene changes. It's because they watched it be invested. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Fuck this! Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial. Objection! Even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise— No! Fuck you, Judge! This can't be happening! Appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant— Fuck! No! Objection! Objection! Edgeworth. Yay, Edgeworth! What a good boy. One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, Gant, you're so suspicious. Oh, you can't keep the man down. I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. Oh, what? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. Phoenix! I don't know why I said Phoenix! But Edgeworth's a good boy right now. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Hold it! Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. Oh, there's the lovable Edgeworth. Yeah, get in your place. The exposure of the truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Threatening people in court is usually a really bad thing to do. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. I know, looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins, and I'm over here like, okay. Oh no, don't look so sad. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. My occupation, I'm Lana's little sister, and I did want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. What's going on, Adventure Kid? Well, okay then. Yeah, fucking. This is the one time okay with you being like a bad judge. You listen to Edgeworth. He knows what he's talking about. Well, okay then. Sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. 2 years ago. Saints Row 4. That's a good game. I should replay Saints Row 3 and 4. I never actually played the first two. Apparently the first two were a lot more serious. But, shit. I never actually played them. And then 3 and 4 were just ridiculous. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. What's going on? It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Edgeworth. What does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You gotta admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Yes! Cross-examination time. Hey, what's going on? Uninterested in time, sorry. Fuck, I'm like stumbling over words. 2 years ago. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. Hold it! Were you really in her office? 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes, she was second in command under then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Skye used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day, too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage. Sorry. Took me hostage. Sorry. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on that day of the ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. We haven't seen Ace Attorney in a while. It's been going good. I'm actually working on, this is the final part of the DLC case for the first game. And this is the third stream of me doing it. This is an incredibly long case, but there's been like so many twists and turns. It's ridiculous. We're desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. Did I say that already? I'm sorry. My mind. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. You said you missed the twists and turns. The good thing is, and I know it, well, you know, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm always like, you can find this on my YouTube because, I mean, it's true. It does stay on the VODs on Twitch, I think for me, for like 2 months because I have Twitch Prime. But the best place to find it would probably be YouTube because I try to like categorize it and everything. Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's more than worth the time, for sure. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. And that's when I saw him. Who's him? Neil Marshall rescued me. Wait, how did he rescue? Hold it! What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, yeah, he went to the questioning room after the ceremony. I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah, like, oh, did it say fold it? It probably did. Hold it! There we go. Sometimes it doesn't always do what it needs to do. I assume that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but... You're hoping you weren't chanting? Oh god, I try not to. Never forget what I saw in that instant. What did you see? Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby. And so the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. Yeah, sorry, I can't forget the darkness that I saw. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. Note to self, lightning causes light. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. I know, it's crazy. It does. I always thought the flashes of light were from somebody like with a strobe light outside, and then the thunder just kind of happened. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. Hear more. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes. That's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman what you saw? Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? Ask about the picture. I want the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. Objection! Edgeworth, why? But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. What if the list of evidence I have contains a picture? Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. Well, that's a busy guy during every storm. It's your job. Oh, man. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. The woman doesn't have any reason to lie. But Lana sure does. Yeah. Oh, I almost fucked up that. Totally not. Random brings the time follow profuse apologies normal push streams. Sometimes. I'm actually not looking up the answers today. I'm gonna try to get through the rest of the trial on my own. I only looked up answers the other day because I was like getting so fucking lost. And I usually only do it during the investigative part. So, I need Emma to tell me as much about this as she can. I do get distracted easily though. It's waiting in my sister's office that day. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Plus, if I was looking it up, I'd be looking this way, because this is the screen where I put my browser. This is just where Discord and stuff's at. Yeah. Yes. She was second in command to the then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Sky used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. Boom, boom, boom. That's right. I always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. Really? It's a creepy organ. Boom, 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 boom. I wanted to play it that day, too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lena promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage. Hold it! Who was that man? A man? Well, we already know who the man is Joe Dark. Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. She was facing the organ. How did the lightning illuminate? Well, no, she was daydreaming about it. She wasn't actually at the organ. I think she was, in the middle of the room, maybe? Upon fleeing the room, Drake proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Well, I think she was sitting at her sister's desk, which was to the left of it. She was probably daydreaming about being on the organ, but maybe not looking at it, I'm guessing. Best not to worry about it. Go to the door side, have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me. Okay, hold it. Did he? What was the prosecutor doing there? I don't know, rescuing her? That day, there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. Don't forget about Gant, he's the most important part of this! Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Where did his award go, anyway? Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assume that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. He doesn't have any reason to lie. But Lana sure does. Whoa! I was so absorbed in her talking that I forgot to question that shit. I needed to go. Fuck. Sorry. Seems to have been lost. Stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Hold it! Did he really? That must have been a real shock. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly. Tell us, what were you doing at that moment? Well, because I'm supposed to find a contradiction in her testimony, but my mind. Doing at the moment. I believe you testified that Joe Dark was holding you hostage. When lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall, oh, they began wrestling each other. Oh, they were wrestling like good old friends. I'm pretty sure I was watching them. Emma doesn't have any reason to lie, but Lana sure does. Oh, did I just go in circles again? Oh, that's the last, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, did we see this? Yeah, he wrestled all my friends, exactly. Oh, let me, shit, that's not what I want. Present. God, I forgot I have so much evidence. List of SL9. Is there anything on here that's weird? Oh, what is this? Oh, it's the picture! Boo-ba-da-boo! Wow, their hands are too big. Picture is drawn on the back of the evidence list in magic marker. I've got a very bad feeling about this. It's the picture! Objection! Looks like my art. I'm really glad I looked at the back of that and I remembered that that's a thing. That you're the one who wrestled people. I don't really wrestle to people like in my current place because they're not really the touchy-feely type of people, but you know. Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that, as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold! This is the evidence list for the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Turn it... Ah! What's this? Yeah, behold! Can you turn it the right side up, sir? Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it! That's the picture I drew! Indeed, two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. These lists, they're different from each other. Yeah. Wow, man, I'm so glad he knows how to read. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. Yeah, he can read. Well, I'm surprised too. Seriously, I'm surprised he can function as a human being most days. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. Well, to be fair on the picture, I can't tell because they look very clean. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What? Order! But Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor! Are you all right, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. No, they're not. Boot to the head parody to happen. It's okay. Maybe it will be. Maybe it will. The evidence list was torn in half. Then there might be more of the drawing in the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. How would he not have fucking noticed? Well, okay, Edgeworth, sometimes he's got his moments. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. What is going on, Edgeworth? Are you okay? Are you taking like a poop? That's not the bathroom. Yeah, it looked blank right there too. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Edgeworth. Oh, sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing! It's the blue... What? Why is it the blue badger? That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this is an act of vandalism. This act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Wow. List of evidence, the SL9 incident. Half of the list was found in Gant's desk. Evidence list restored and updated in the court record. Very well. Witness, will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. Emma's picture, witness testimony. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Yeah, or glow stick, or both. Oh, what about a piece of string cheese? Tasty, but deadly. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that thought, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Yeah, it's terrible. Emma's picture, cross-examination. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. Rolled it! So at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue? No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. Poor Emma. I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. What happened after the lightning flashed? Dad, I must have fainted. Hold it! You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? Yeah, it's super bright. No, I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? I'm sorry, Edward, I'm trying to get answers. Wait, hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture, it was exactly what I saw in that instant. Hold it! Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives? Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I'd better watch out, or you might find some way to cut my salary. I did this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Oh, well, that's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind, and yet there's clearly a contradiction here. God, there's too much evidence. Stabbed in the... Wait. Oh! Present! Objection! I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of the picture contradicts the autopsy report? Well, he's being stabbed from the front, right? Where the fuck? The way he's facing? So I guess just him? Take that! Take that! I think it's, this part here. I don't see what's so strange about that. That's because the drawing stinks! God damn it, Phoenix! Mr. Wright, how could you? No, that's what I meant. The act of making an innocent girl cry should warrant the death penalty. Fuck! My hell! I guess this means I shouldn't shift the blame to others. God, I was close! So long as the defense has learned its lesson. What the Wait, is that a knife? That is a knife, right? What the because he's facing that way. Because he was stabbed in the back, but it's not his back. What? What? I know it's in the picture, but I don't know because he was stabbed in the back. Okay, just saying. We're gonna. Don't worry about things. Okay, yeah, well, I don't care about that. I just want to know. No, I don't want the fucking wiki. God damn. Oh, wait. Therefore, just saying. Burp, burp, burp. Burp, 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 burp. Oh, well, okay. You know what? I kind of thought it was this. Okay, because the knife is already broken. The knife's already broken. Okay. I should have known. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm not cheating. There's no cheating happening. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife that the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. You see the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. Objection! Ugh. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! Yeah, that's fucking right. What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, then it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right, but what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. Objection again! That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure that she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time. But she was sure she remembered correctly. Yeah, no. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Yeah, just the tip. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Order! Order! There will be order in my courtroom. Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being 2 broken knives? Oh, they're a lot higher than you think, my dear judge. Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? There is another one! The murderer, you can freely go in it. Yeah, exactly. The witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw. It can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume, then, that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. Hell fucking yeah, the murder weapon is already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way! Take a look at this! Here's the real murder weapon! Hello. Boom! Take that! The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here, inside this picture. This is a picture of the award ceremony. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order, order, order! Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! But maybe there was yet another murderer. It's like a burrito. Layers of murderers. The prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hold it! Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Oh, that's convenient. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth? What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back? I knew it! This picture, I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. Sky Ex Machina, exactly. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Miss Sky? This part sucks? Oh, I don't like that, Des. Why do you say that? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger. This should be interesting. Emma's recollection. Okay. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards the both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. I thought the blue badger wasn't that old. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. What? What? This is certainly most unusual.
Objection!
Try impossible? The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him. I think he meant designed him until this year. And that would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Impossible. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop, please, don't pursue this any further. Where have you been all this time? Go away. Lana, what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Shut the fuck up, Lana, stop confessing. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. Seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Are we? Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward the both of them. You rushed to them. Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall. Seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. As if we've just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife. Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I forgot to help the other person. Hold it! What do you mean you think? It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur. Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. What you did was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next? It's like, very cool, very cool. What now? Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. Are you sure about this? Of course, see? I even drew a picture of him here. But it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. I can see Gumshoe crying somewhere. Blue Badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable, a word I love. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling I'd seen him somewhere before. Now I finally remember. Oh, brother, just when you thought that things had caused enough commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. Wait. Would that make a shadow that looks like the blue badger? I don't think I'm supposed to use this yet. Because he didn't exist. And that looks kind of badgery, right? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. God, turn. Like that? That would probably look kind of blue badgery. Hold it!
Objection!
Oh, objection! Yay, the music stopped! Look, I'm so The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. Oh my god! But that's, what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. You know, you can thank fucking Resident Evil 7 with those shadow puzzles for tipping me off on that, because I'm like, maybe that would look kind of like that if it's at a weird angle. Yeah, I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? Gotta show them the correct angle to look at this from. Okay. Okay, I might have fucked it. Wait. Wait, maybe. Oh wait, I can use the R and L buttons. That helps a lot, actually. Wait, so like. Wait, shit. Maybe I was right this way. Like that? I know, I'm glad this isn't fucking timed. I would, okay, like up a little. Like that? That looks blue badger-ish, or yeah, let's, like this! This isn't right. I gotta make it look more like the badger. Oh, wait, no. Allow me to remind the defense its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew, we cannot accept his claim. I've got to find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more, horizontally? Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do it. Got to show them the correct angle. Fuck. I mean, at least it didn't do the thing. Okay, so. See, that seems. Unless it's actually from, like, the backside. Would it look like that from the backside? I don't think it would. Now, that just looks fucking weird. Ugh, I'm pretty sure the bloody side has to be out. Is this the part that sucks, Daz? Because it does suck. Like that? Is that exactly the same way I had it before? Dad, what the fuck? How do you want to fuck you? The correct. Am I at least onto something, Daz? You mean like this? Like that. Yeah, fuck you! Man, I'm super glad that they're not like taking pot shots at. Okay, I'm gonna, you know what? Just no, that's not what I want at all. No, I don't want a new tab. Fucking just take me back to the page with the fucking. No, okay, fuck, whatever, man. Fucking shit ball. What do you mean? It's hard! Oh. Dang, that's super far. Okay. Well, let me see if I can even get this right. I only looked at it for a second, okay? Well, I'm sorry. Never trusted. Oh. It's like that? That's what it is? That's not right! No, God, it's so hard, I hate it! It did look like it, I know, that's what I'm saying, it sucks. Maybe it's gotta be like that?
Take that! Objection!
hate it. I hate it. This is the way.
Take that! Objection!
What angle does it gotta fucking be at? This is stupid. Oh my god, fuck it. I just looked at something and it's like this. Maybe it's because it's too.
Take that! Objection!
Oh my god! Ah! It sucked! Okay, fuck. I need to stop closing this window because apparently I need it. I fucking hate it. I hate it. Never. Okay, so the way it's showing it is like exactly how I find it. Try the other side of the face. Oh. No, it's like this. It just has to be like... fucking... Well, it's showing like the 3DS version. It's gotta look like... that.
Take that!
Ah! Yeah, it's gotta be like very fucking specific. Well, is this a miracle or what? Yes, Jesus. No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. Stop, make it go away. No, it can't be. It is. Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this.
Objection!
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. Oh, no, it changes a lot of things, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well, then please tell us. Did you notice all the blood on the jar, you jerk? What's different now that we know that the witness saw this jar? Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant.
Objection!
But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yeah, it's also not that great. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office, which happened to be the same fucking room? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? Oh, please don't give me a multiple choice question, because I don't really actually know off the top of my head. Finally figured it out. Ha! So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said that she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have had to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall? Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I can go through with this. Do it, Phoenix, come on! Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually prosecutor Neil Marshall, she knocked him onto the fucking side! What the fuck? You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? Oh, shit. No! Wow. Whoa. Is she okay? I don't think she's okay. Oh boy. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. Oh boy. So that's why she didn't want it. Oh, because she killed him. So the and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. Did you go jab? That's fucking crazy. What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Oh, she's sweating. She fucking knows. She fucking knows. Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? I do! I'm willing to bet you don't. I do. Oh no, I do! Yes, it would certainly be difficult to prove with this evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I have evidence! I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. Certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning! Touché, Miss Skye. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left for you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? Gotta think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind is in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister's a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek, the truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased. I bet it's the motherfucking piece of leather with her goddamn handprint on it!
Take that!
This is the message from the deceased. Right. Now then. What? No! What? Oh, I guess that was right. Dead person left behind a message would have to be. Oh, never mind. Better carefully, you might wind up deceased yourself. That's very threatening, Edgeworth. Let's try this again. Okay, I guess it's the jar. Fuck. Is that a threat? Yeah, exactly. I guess it's gotta be the jar again because it's got that squiggle on it.
Take that!
This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he gonna just speak the killer's name? That thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. Looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. And that's an E and probably an M. Yes, there's a line here drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the line changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal the answer. Gotta connect the dots to make letters. My God, there's only one thing the victim would have written given the circumstances. His murderer's name. It's a fun game for children. Connect the dots. Emma! Wait, do I have to? I don't have to connect those dots, do I? Is that good enough? Is that enough dot connecting?
Take that!
It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's incident. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this! And then it's just like, wow, that's wrong. Points deducted. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Somebody wiped away the blood. Wonder who it could have been. Of all the people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Sky. Well, this is certainly different than what I was expecting. Seaworthy can't say I didn't warn you. Fuck you, Gant. Chief Gant. Do you understand the implications of what you've done? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Well, yeah, but you gave fucking falsified evidence, you stupid piece of shit. I hate you. Doc. Yes, Worthy, because of you, innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. But wasn't he actually a murderer? But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. That is very important, you stupid son of a bitch! Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? What? We're merely keepers of the law. Bad keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death, no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Wow, that's a great way to fucking just be like, well, it's not our fault, it's his fault. No, fuck you, Gant! Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. Oh, what is going on at the prosecutor's office? I'm gonna send an innocent man to his death. Oh shit! Order! I don't know. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Emma, I'm sorry you killed a man. Jesus. To be continued. Can we just be done? Oh, save your progress up to this point. Hell yeah! You guys fucking ready? This is the longest ever. We've been live for an hour and we did like a little. Trial former, trial ladder. Not to be confused with trial ladder, which involves like ladders that you climb on. February 25th, 12:06, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Oh. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Gumshoe! Gumshoe! Gumshoe, your bro's sad. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. No, Gumshoe, come back! Oh, well, wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. You said that before. You say that a lot. And to top it off, you call me here. Seen happier people at funerals. Didn't he say this the last time, too? Like, I'm pretty sure he said that word for fucking word. God damn it, Gumshoe. Learn some new lines. I take Atlanta's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Why is it a fucking chick with a pipe? And a hat. And a very round plant. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that Mr. Right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You can at least study some evidence law. Really? Well, fuck. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him? I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. From Miss Guy, explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. Except I'm gonna read the book right now. I have 3 fucking pages of evidence. That's too much. Rules for submitting evidence. 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. I already knew those rules. But what if the police hid evidence? Just saying. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. I can't fucking spell. Sorry, guys. That's the thing. Don't worry. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Well, whatever. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses. But I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking, and shut up, fuck up, judge, just get retired. Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. It's the only thing we can fucking do, stupid judge, if you won't let him be a fucking piece of shit. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? I'm okay with that. Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. Oh shit, the defense calls. Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. The fucking real murderer is. There's only one person it could be. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna call Bruce Goodman, who's fucking dead.
Take that!
Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. You don't fucking care. Ha, so you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware of the course that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? I don't think that's fucking true. Wait, is that true? The chief of police has the right to refuse to... What? Since when? That's stupid. Fuck that guy. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if things turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. No, I didn't have any... Oh, it's okay. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. SL9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged to the crime scene. Oh, and it's not good at all. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. This guy's fucking crazy. Triple dab? Wait, who did the dabs? Wait a second. I gotta look at my duty bopper. Oh, Phoenix dabbed. Okay, let me move my mic. There's 1, 2, 3 dabs. Ow. My arms aren't used to moving like that. Maybe I have to dab more. Is that when Dark was arrested? Painful dabs? It was fine. It was fine. You didn't hear my bones cracking. He was lying on the floor unconscious. Ow! 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 When Emma sent Neil flying, it seemed Dark bumped his head. I see, everything seems pretty clear-cut. The police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Dabsercise, exactly. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that time. Whoa, hold it! Dabs everywhere. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. Is that right? Are you also gonna say you're the best fucking whatever ever? You piece of shit? You're gonna keep tooting your own fucking horn? That's what it sounds like. After winning his reward, Neil was all fucked up too. Probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant, Lana Skye, also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. Make a long story short, we slipped up. Power outage didn't help either. Went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she already arranged the crime scene. Hold it! It is censored. Well, it doesn't like it when I say like bullshit. Or motherfucker. I think. Sometimes it does that. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, there we go. Now it just has, and it's uncensored, so I can say fuck. No, it's not what I said. I said I can say fuck. I can say shit, but I can't say bullshit, or it'll take off an L. Or motherfucker. Or it takes the C off. What? No. No. That's not what I said. Anyway. Yeah, it misspells the words, and then it'll kind of like reach, try to figure it out. My text-to-speech is 12, exactly. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Oh. Apparently she already arranged the crime scene. Oh, hold it, what does that mean? Yeah, take that. Exactly. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk? That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway. This had nothing to do with the forgery. Hold it! So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you had arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidences are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. Shut up, Edgeworth! I stare at whoever I fucking want. If you're gonna stare at anything, you'd better be off staring off the court record. Fuck you, Edgeworth! Worthy, always a smooth talker. Which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Except, oh wait, let's go back this way. Objection! You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. Found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Ah, Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Huh. Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, righto? What? I don't fucking forge you! However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. No, leave him alone! What? What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. That's horrible! That's a horrible thing to say! Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Wow, fuck you. Evidence of forgery. I hate this guy. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. That's not a testimony. Fuck you. Yeah. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I'm chief of police, right? There will be consequences. No chief of police should ever say something like that, because that's fucking weird and creepy and not good. Oh, my salary! Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again. No, fuck you! My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. All right, Edgy, in return, though. I know, that place, right? What place? Huh? What are these guys, they're telepathic? No, fuck, get rid of the judge. Throw the whole courtroom out. Burn the whole place down. We need a new one. Cross-examination. I know, you could have planned. Hold it! Shut the fuck up! First of all, I'd appreciate it if you stopped making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. He wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. Oh my god, I hate him so much! What? You know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped. What? Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're gonna need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. And fucking Red White was a fucking piece of shit. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. What? If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence is discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. Well, I hate this man so much. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Wow, that's fucking stupid. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Righto, think about it. No reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me in any way. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. No, you're not. Remember, who was it that murdered Neil? Well, fucking shit. I'm not sure I would care for the word murder here, but in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Scott. Well, now do you see? Shut up, Gant! Really, Chief Gant, at the very least, there's one very large benefit you've reaped from all of this. I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Fuck! Careful when pointing that finger. You might wind up being the one pointed at. I hate being pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. I'm super selfish. Gee, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. God damn it, yeah, I've changed it a little, sure. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Hold it. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. There had been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Point out accomplice. Sure, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. Shut up, Judge! That's not what I mean! Fucking guys, stop! Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? The only person he could have done it with! Fucking Lana. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye? The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events, just like those kids in that one movie and book. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? I don't like the fact that this man has the most serious face while he says, like, the dumbest shit. Can I have a recess? I need a recess after that. Yeah, oh wait, you can't save yourself from that, Judge. You're already an idiot. Yeah, you must be in puppet, as in someone forced to do his bidding. Oh, never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. All right, oh my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana, she's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Wow, fuck you. Just what do you mean? Yeah, Judge, he's threatening me. He's threatening me. What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? But does he still like playing with puppets? That's what I need to know. Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. Yeah, guess what? Even they can be shitty. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That is impossible. Wow. Why did you hop off his dick for a second there, Judge Man, and take a look from a different perspective? Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. I know, seriously. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's because the judge is so, like, wrapped around because the chief of police has too much power. Too much power. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. He came back to well, there's a lot happening, V. I'm sorry, it's a very complicated game. I see. All right then, let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Oh, I'll show you, once I find it. It's in my encyclopedic thing. ID card record. Take that. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. It's a very good game where sometimes people get pounded. Metaphorically. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. Sorry, I meant to. Oh no, it doesn't say anything about you, V. It just says things about us as adults. Don't worry. You're fine, V. We're all healthy people with minds. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Ooh, he's sweating. That means it's good. Like, why so many sevens? Because it just, yeah. Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. Oh, no! But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. That's not a good response at all. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to have been there with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days. Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? The trial's purpose is to determine Atlanta Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime. Then we need to determine one thing. I thought Chief Gant was saying that, but it was actually Till. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us the proof that the victim met with Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Could it possibly be the lost item report? Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. I know. To determine the truth, really. Because then I'd go up there and be like, credit card debt? I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the truth. And then they'd probably be like, you still owe money. I'd be like, please help me. Anyway. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. I'm gonna go up there and be like, you say I was speeding? Objection! What proof do you have that I was speeding? Yeah, please. Sorry, I'm in a lot of debt. You would have to give that report to the chief of police, but a blue. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it? How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? Okay, I mean, I'm always good with hugs, but I'm fine. There's no other way that the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. I mean, I paid off my car. That was a really nice thing. Hold on, let me guess what you're gonna say next. I, Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. I accompanied him, yeah, into the evidence room, where we have evidence. The Blue Badger was also there. It was a little awkward. Exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Oh, yes. Now that you mention it, I might have done that. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! Oh, what the fuck? This man is turning into a demon. Yeah, exactly. Always watching and doing his weird jilted dance. Chief Gant, you didn't. Whoa, yeah. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. And fucking Edgeworth. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's brought back to his office by Gant's report.
Take that!
This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? Screwdriver? What does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Yeah, this is how he did it. This is how he did it. They're just like, how? It's right here. Can you not see it? I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. I know, accessory to the crime. You mean I... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation: to transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. Oh, fuck! Who cares about your stupid fucking lunch? But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? Police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Objection!
So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? So, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. And this court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body? I don't have proof. I hate doing this, but I have no proof. That's from a long time ago. Breath of the Wild. Well, I guess that's stuck on a loading screen. No! It's no use showing evidence. I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. Humph! Siaji. In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto. Seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Fuck you! Okay, Udgy, I'll leave the rest to you. Because, yeah, I have a bajillion pieces of evidence, but nothing that directly links them. Fuck you! I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to the senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. No, don't do it! No! No, my health bar! Please. Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth, another witness! In the absence of conclusive evidence, there's only one other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Isn't it obvious? Yeah, why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth. We can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth, Mike Meekins. No, it's not Mike Meekins. The only person who hasn't actually fucking, yeah, take that. He's, I guess both. He wanted to be a defense attorney, and then his dad got murdered, and then stuff went down, and he became a prosecutor. He's still a cool guy, though. He's just, sometimes he's kind of a dick. He's a little stuck up, but it's okay. He's still our friend, kind of. The defendant, Miss Lana Skye, she was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. Oh, wait, hold on, who's holding on, huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. Who? No, you're not. You can't fucking say that. Come on. That's not how that works. Don't threaten the fucking witness. Isn't that illegal? I'm pretty sure that's illegal, everybody. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, yeah, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. All right, then. I got a lunch date to meet, and then swimming afterwards. But you make sure you wait 30 minutes before you do that. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. February 25th, 2:04 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Stop looking so mad, Edgeworth. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. I know, he's a horrible person. That chief, he's something else, L.A. pals. Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. What? What? My office? Sure, I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Oh man, it feels like it's been years since I've seen her last. Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. Now is it he always gets the upper hand because he controls everything, apparently? Not fair that he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that's not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the Chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Is that Emma? It's Emma! You're awake! Sorry about making you recall horrible things and you fainting because you killed a man accidentally. It's okay. Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. I feel like I should kill more people. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. Now I have a taste for blood. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as the chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Yeah, I think I can murder even better now. Thanks. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. Force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. You want to blame anyone? Blame society, pal. Blame the schools. Shut up, Google. I wasn't even talking to you. Why are you playing music? Hey, Google. Stop. It was playing on Pandora, and I don't like Pandora because it never plays the stuff I want it to play. I always just play stuff on Google or on YouTube. Hi, Zyla! I love you too. How are you doing today? Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what I said, but it was like playing music on Pandora, and I'm like, I never asked for that.
So 29 months. That's a thing. Love your face, chaos. 3.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. Just remember now, I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I can talk. I hope you're feeling okay. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Gumshoe, you're on my side now. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, right? It's time to end this. So you've not been around? No, you're fine. You're fine. You need the sleep, honestly. I mean, the reason for you having to rest sucks, but it probably is better, yeah, that you get plenty of rest. February 25th, 2:21 p.m., District Court. Courtroom number 9. Is that like Mambo number... I was gonna say Mambo number 9, but it's Mambo number 5. I fucked up the song reference. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. I fucked up. Now then. Will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Early days of coordinating, got too much sleep. Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez. Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But, Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Huh. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. You want to hear the truth. Yeah, we say that to every fucking buddy, and guess what? They all lie. They all lie, and they get off just fine, even though they lied, and lying is bad and punishable by law. Oh, it's been... Oh, no! Makes you lethargic as fuck. Yeah. Ugh. I don't know. It sucks. I can sleep on my side or back. I prefer, actually, to sleep on my back. Because if I sleep on my side, there's a chance that I can, like, sleep wrong and kind of, like, make my shoulders ache when I wake up. But... no. You get up melatonin because it makes you tired. A lot of people I know that have taken melatonin have had, like, weird-ass dreams, too. Yeah, and someone can... Exactly, Panda. Fucking... Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister, even if I'm in jail for 1,000,000 billion years. It's okay, I murdered him. I murdered him super good. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Witness testimony. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. That sounds like a whole bunch of fucking lies. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. No, you're not. You're always looking to the side. Always fucking looking to the side like a fucking side looker. I am ready to be a real lawyer, so I can look at people and they'll be like, but sir, I have, and I'm like, objection! And they'll be like, but the paper is, and I'll like knock it out of their hand and be like, hold it! And they're just gonna be like, please get out of the courtroom. Yeah, she's a side looker. Fucking side looker. That or a murderer and, yeah, exactly. But Lana, if this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. But it's definitely a fucking lie. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Shut up! Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. What if she's telling the truth? She's not, Phoenix, shut up! She's not. I know my own sister. I'm pretty sure I said that in my head. She's reading my mind. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Maybe she's hiding a knife. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The offense may now begin its cross-examination. Gant and the fabrication. Cross-examination. Yeah, I know my own sister, she's a fucking liar, exactly. Worked alongside Gant for years. Yeah, look me in the eye and tell me that, Lana. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why you said was. Is he not respectable anymore? There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. Shut! I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife, but he was dead. You stabbed his dead-ass body. He was fucking dead. And yeah, it was a respect. I know. Fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Hold it! Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. No, the point was driven into Neil's back by your sister with the candlestick in the drawing room. Fucking mustard. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana, so that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. Wow. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Hold it! You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. Atlanta! God, she's making this so difficult! Fucking shit! The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change the statement. Don't tell me what to fantasize about! I fantasize about whatever I want! Wait, maybe she said that. I don't know, whatever. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Drake? Something like that. That's not a fucking real statement! If that's so, then what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor, a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. Yeah, I see you turn your side eyes again, you're fucking lying! That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. She's trying to live in a throne, a kingdom of lies, but I will knock it down with my truth bombs. Banana and banana split sundae. It's just something about that freedom, V. Freedom. I know, there's just, oh God. All just to protect me, but now she's just being a fucking piece of shit. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife and planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. What? What? How did you break it off? You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the wound, and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. But why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright, even you should be able to figure it out. Okay, whatever. Very well, let's add this to the witness testimony. Reasons who scattered for every other knife. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in the body would be all the proof we needed. Oh, it keeps adding more! According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. That's a fucking lie! So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? Oh no, you're fine. Deepcroft is in place. How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it, period. You so desperate to hide that fact? Willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying, she did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened, I know that. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. Nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying! I know, it looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. She could have done it alone. Got to get Lana to talk more. She's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Hold it! Sorry. Let's go through this. This was the one with the second thingy. Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? Oh, okay. It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? And that's a long way to move a body. The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Press it. Pieces of jar, you mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Yeah, that. Neil Marshall was dead and Drake was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. Must be a contradiction here somewhere. Don't worry, I committed this fabrication completely alone. Did you?
Objection!
Ms. Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring it to everyone's attention. A significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. You have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on the jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. That's true, because then it would have been all not weird. He would have had to write it smaller. Order, order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. Yeah, come on. Fucking... I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Oh, isn't it? Oh, okay. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Jar and message in blood. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in the office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. You know, that was very recent. Never miss anything. I got every last piece. No, you fucking didn't. You didn't fucking pieces. Objection! How many times am I gonna throw this goddamn jar in everybody's face? A lot. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it! She really didn't know! There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. She fucking lied! Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, You were not the first one to show up on the scene. Oh wait, were that? Chief Gant got there before you. What? But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? Okay, we don't need your stupid idiot stories, Judge! Have you forgotten, Your Honor? You are an idiot. When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? Yeah. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Oh yeah, here, let me do this thing. Well, hell yeah. Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Can riddle me this, beardly man? No! Why is he freaking out? What is happening? Why? Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Yeah, well, you fucking should be. You should be on a trial for, are you even really a judge? Are you just an old man who wandered in here and Chief Gant was like, I'll give you $5 if you do a trial. And he was all like, I need my hooch. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question, what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. Yeah, exactly, with a hammer he found. I got my hammer at Goodwill for $2. It makes me look judgy. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. No! That's too... Oh god, there was blood! She bit her finger too hard, please stop! I mean, you're being horrible right now and you need to tell the truth, but don't do that. That's bad. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief and stop biting your thumb! Mom told you that you couldn't do that anymore! I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Wow, shut up. Stop. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Shut up! Bitch! Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. What? Did the fucking judge just fucking, what? I'm gonna choke a bitch. I'm just gonna choke all of them. Everybody except Edgeworth and Gumshoe. He's okay. Everybody else, though, they're gonna get these hands. Fucking hands. Wait a minute. What if... It's okay. I wouldn't, like, kill them. I just choke them a little bit. That's not a crime. That's just what you do when people are being dumb. Just choke them just a little. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana, I may be right after all. What do you mean, right? I mean, you are right. You're Phoenix, right? Everybody hears that all the time. Anyway. Yeah, choke him just a little. So, you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright. Shut up! Emma, you're not helping! Miss Sky, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Yeah, can you... third time's a charm, guys! All right, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Actual crime scene. I know, exactly. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. That's what I just fucking said. Just wasn't. Nothing about the truth, so help you, RNG. Exactly. Fucking unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword? That's fucking radical. I mean, it's terrible. Really terrible. I wish I was there, but no. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. What? I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. I just got a fucking book. Oh, Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. She didn't give me a fucking picture, though. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Yeah, well, I opened it, but it didn't, like, open it. Uh-oh. What's that? How about we open this bad boy up to page... Fuck. What? Open the book. Phoenix, do you know how books work? Whoa! That's graphic! Hey, there's a picture here. Whoa! He's super dead! Oh my! This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene. Oh, no other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Lana's picture inserted into the court record. Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest! Could that be... cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? Yes, it's your handprint, Emma! That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, those are yours. They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Like flushing one of those poops that's like a little bit too much for one flush, so sometimes you have to do it 2, maybe 3 times. We like to call that the safety flush. Anyway, very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Actual crime scene, cross-examination. Objection! Hi, Carl! When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the spot. Fucking shit! Get out here! You already said you couldn't do shit, you fucking bitch, you dickety ass! Come now, Edgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant? What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy, too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. So what? You think I'm worried? Yeah, you look pretty fucking worried. Edgeworth is the broiest of bros right now. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What? What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? The fucking bit? What? Yeah, he looked a little worried. No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, righto? What? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? I show the piece of evidence now. Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to show this. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I'd better think this carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Yeah, I won't do the shoe either. Don't shoe. If you shoe, you lose. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosimute? Cannot show evidence! Your Honor, I don't have any evidence that I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gant? You opened my safe! I know you took what was inside! The conclusive evidence! I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? Shut up, Emma! We found it together! Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know its fingerprints are on it, and that's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like a part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Yeah, fuck this guy. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, righto. Yep. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. Really? What, you mean you admit to it? Huh? How many testimonies we fucking hear? This is like number 20 fucking million. I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control a lot. Wow, he just does not fucking care. Wow. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. Wow, this guy fucking sucks. He did, but he's the chief of police, so apparently he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And the judge is just like, okay. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? It's a terrible court system, but it's a great drama, isn't it, guys? For instance, for insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police cheat by dumb luck. Wow, that sounds even fucking worse. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say that you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too? Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant? That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Fine, we'll show evidence. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. All right then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered the prosecutor, Marshall. Let me check something. Can I turn it around? No, there's nothing on the other side. I was like, but what if he planted her handprint on it? It's a handprint, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that scientifically. More likely explanation is the person slipped and well on a freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over their hand. What the fuck? Well, that would account for the amount of oil, I guess. Slip on floors at school after they're waxed. I don't know if that pertains to the case, but I guess we're gonna fucking show it.
Take that!
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. At last you finally brought it out into the open. Oh, boy. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that it be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be an authentic, conclusive evidence. Must be conclusive evidence. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Righto had us all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that mean? You mean you already know? Sorry, I didn't tell you, Edgeworth. You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Oh, shit. Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Fuck, I can't lie. Very well, I'll tell you. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. Person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Emma. Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Could you freak the fuck out, probably? You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true, tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Sky, you knew whose fingerprints were on those all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Did you hear me that time? Ha, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. Fuck, you did the same thing! I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you gonna tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. We've said a lot of things a lot. Behold the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Oh fuck, what is it? Well, what picture is it? Is it the law book? Maybe it is the picture. Well, I don't even remember which hand it was. Which hand was it? Actually, wouldn't the cloth? Yeah, it would have been covered in blood. The cloth would have been covered in fucking blood.
Take that!
It's not covered in blood. Sorry. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. Hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, that piece of cloth. It's super clean. Wait, there's no blood on it. Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. The judge is always disappointed because he's dumb. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over. He's going crazy. That was close, Righto. You almost had me. What? Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order! Order! What nonsense is this? The legal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Udgy? Earlier, old Righto here had concealed that piece of cloth. So then that's what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Yeah, it's... Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. It's not fair. Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True, legal evidence cannot be used to convict a person, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Don't say it like that. That sounds bad, man. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of evidence? I did not. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal.
Objection!
No, come on, listen to me. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean, you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved in presenting evidence. No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now! Yeah, with my fucking... This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, but nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. But what kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. Oh, he's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. Thank you, Hunter Crow, for the host. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes! No! I might have a long time ago. Was that you? Or was that someone else? It was then that you approved this cloth. Oh, you gotta be an attorney? Yeah, it's okay, V. I probably wouldn't be a very good one either. As conclusive evidence. It's for your brain. It's okay, V. That's why we're here. For the scary games and these games. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Sometimes. I really need to play more. I used to do it on Saturdays, but then I started playing this. Damon Gant, the killer, was you. This is laughing. Oh God, he's gone! Oh God, he's freaking out! I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr and then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my own chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. I'm sorry, that was a very poor southern accent. Clapping accent. Goodman turned him down as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. Plexstorm? Yes, I know about Plexstorm. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm gonna hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. Yeah, Plexstorm is not for kids. No. I mean, there's a safe for work side of it, but there's also a not safe for work side. I couldn't just pull it out. Oh, come on, that's not a good thing to just say. Whatever, Gant. Creeper. Huh, doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then can you put the body in my... Then you put the body in my car! I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I actually have a couple streamer friends that have used it before, to play, like, games that you can't play on Twitch. Like, you know, like, adult games and stuff like that, but, yeah. I don't know. It's definitely not as, it doesn't have as much support as Twitch and all that, even though I always say Twitch is kind of a burning dumpster fire that sometimes works, but yeah. No, sorry, I couldn't think of, another way to move the body. Broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You killed a man! You killed a man! You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. No, you fucking killed the man, you piece of shit! Holy shit! Sorry I broke your trunk. I was just trying to transport the dead body, but it's fine. You make money, right? What is this? What is this man? Leaving the prosecution's car aside. How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. Now I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah, exactly. You make money, right? It's fine. Yeah, it's true. But you make money, right? Yeah. Sorry I killed your dad, but you make money, right? It's fine. Yeah, it looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. Wait, what? Well, he just killed his brother, was all. Not his dad. They all did their best to get in my way. I gotta hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. You're wonderful! Have a good one, Carl. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in a court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it, you and me. We're the same. No, he's not nearly as tan as you, and he doesn't like swimming. Or earthquakes. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I don't like that at all. You're gonna get ready for bed. Yeah, we got the criminal. All right, have a good one, V. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out. You're awesome. Don't worry, your dad is safe. Does that sound even more threatening, actually? You know what? Just enjoy your bedtime. Don't worry. Your whole family's safe. They're safe with me. Bye. Well, it looks like it's time to say goodbye. No, Udgy. What? It looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, and an example to others on the force. Sorry to learn that you're no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Righto here. Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. This guy is so fucking weird. I don't like him. Dez, why? Dez. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. Tell it now! All I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. What? I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Wow, that's not. Oh, she's. I still hate the fact that you hid, you lied so much, because fuck. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Ah, Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. So, I don't think anybody calls me daddy, actually. It'd be kind of awkward. It was funny though, because when Father's Day rolled around last year, 3 friends wished me a happy Father's Day, and I'm like, oh, I don't have any kids. I have 0 kids. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I don't like compliments. I only did my job. You're making me blush. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I've felt free of these heavy chains. Bailiff, put her in heavy chains! Well, this trial's gone on far too long already. You're fucking telling me, Judge Man, this whole debacle has been 10 hours of my life. Which I guess is probably less than normal trials, but Jesus Christ. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, defendant, I can talk, not guilty. Fuck yeah! That is all. This court is adjourned. February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Hey, Emma, why are you sad? Emma, why the long face? Sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe my thanks, Mr. Wright. She smiled. Yeah, a big ol' smile. And she thanked them. Has she never done that? Okay, fuck, yeah, I get it. You done well. I just saw this. I literally just saw this. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Gumshoe, this is the 3rd fucking time. No, I guess I am. I'll come back later. Oh my god, at least make some different lines, guys. You know the joke. Fucking joke. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Don't make me run off when I'm working. Doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around while on duty. To top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Stop! Just say something different. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Is it possibly her sister? Lena! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Or, you know, those guys standing there. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis, don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago. Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. Yeah, you did. You kind of became a big old mean lady. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. Stop biting your drum! Yeah, well, I mean, it's a visual novel, so the gameplay is like looking for evidence. The court part is just a whole lot of figuring out what evidence to use where. But before that, you saw I have like 3 pages of evidence. I spent time going around places, talking to people, and collecting stuff. Like, that's the gameplay. You know, if you're looking for like action or something, other than people screaming sometimes, there's really not a whole lot of that. Basically, yeah. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. I turned my back on you that day. And hiding what I believed to be the truth. I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course! You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have! Oh, Emma. Emma! Are they gonna start crying now? Are they gonna fucking start crying? Aw, look at them. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Well, because it's the right thing to do. Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. At least, that's what I felt watching the 2 sisters make up. Man, Phoenix, don't you feel lonely? You have no one. No one! Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. I'm not hiding. I'm just angry. Don't talk to me. I'm angry. That's what Edgeworth is all the time. Him angry. Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth! Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals, I can feel it. You and me were the same. No! You're not so different, you and I. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring him down once you try to go it alone. Oh no! Edgeworth is also going to get a spray tan and swim way too much. Don't do it, Edgeworth. Come back. come back to us. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth? Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were total dickbags. It's like super duper dickbags. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. Yeah, they're super assholes. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? What is this, a pop quiz? Yeah, me and Veggie are bros. Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. What? Take that! That might mean something to you, but I don't see how it had anything to do with our partnership, huh? Fuck, Mr. Wright. It seems you still have a lot to learn as well. Don't look at me like that! I don't know, I have like 3 pages of evidence! Guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence. Do I need to show it again? What was I supposed to fucking show him? It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth? If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. No! Oh, it was the picture. It was the fucking picture, I bet. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. No, I want to show him the picture! Oh, I fucked up. It was probably the picture because... No, Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. Seems I owe you my thanks too, right? Wry smile. What I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. No! I fucked up! I want to show you the thing! It probably was the picture! I'd better be going too. I have to go to jail again. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation. Oh, it's got the same little chick on it. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis! I will! Okay, cool. And so another case came to a close. And as for the sisters, I have faith. Oh. Faith that their lives have only just begun. I have no idea. And as for me, I think it's time I started a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go tricking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? What? What does that mean? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Bribe him with who? Money? What? Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, now I can't eat for the rest of the month. Mr. Wright here is the one who'll be footing the... What? 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 Huh? What? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. What? Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. No! Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. But I don't have money. I'm poor boy. Come on, guys, let's go. Objection, yeah. What the fuck? What? I'm not a rich man. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to, I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Okay, that's cool. Okay. I guess we wait and then more stuff will show up. Oh, hey, it's Gumshoe. Yikes, I thought it was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. Ha! If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Wow, that's terrible! Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. You need money to live, Gumshoe. You need money to live! Why? Well, he's just doing his best. Gumshoe's doing his fucking best. Man, that was a fucking trip, guys. This whole game. Oh. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. Yeah, you suck. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. And I'll show them, though. Someday I'm gonna make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that dick Gumshoe. Oh, no. No, get Meekins out of here. Go away. You don't belong here anymore. Don't try to take Gumshoe's job. He needs money. Stop. Get out of here, Meekins. Somebody take that megaphone away from that man. No. I don't want to look at it. It's not even talking. I don't want to look at it. Fuck the badger. Get that shit out of here. That was not an enjoyable part of this experience. Oh, God. Okay. Well. It did. Maybe I spoke too harshly and I killed it through the game. I'm sorry. Oh, hey! What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with the steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Wow, nice. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Who the fuck is Billy? Who's Billy? I don't remember Billy. Oh, hi. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. Oh, maybe Billy's a cat. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The Right Way Lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hard sell around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Turnabout! That was the names of the stuff was Turnabout! Except for the last one, it was Rise from the Ashes, but still. Oh, I said Rise from the Ashes. Maybe I was talking too fast. Ah, fuck you! Sorry. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Oh my god, kill him! Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh no! I forgot my gavel! Sorry, gotta go. What? You're not supposed to take it with you! It stays there! Anyway. It's just our judge. He's just the judge. It's fine. Everything's okay. It's his personal gavel. Well, he should keep it in his judge smock thingy, whatever, robe. Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you in your objection. Still, I can't go back until I am a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic, my afternoon training's about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick. Yeah. Special thanks. Oh, I forgot. I haven't touched anything in a while. So is this the end for today? Is there another case? That's the last case of the first game, and we've been going for about 3.5 hours, so I think I'm probably gonna take the rest of the night off. Plus, like I said, I really do need to record stuff. I said I was gonna record stuff yesterday. I did not. I ended up playing Animal Crossing. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. What's going on? Plus, I figure this is a good place to stop, so on Saturday we can start up fresh on game number 2. Ace Attorney and the Mystery of Mysteries. Yeah, no, I didn't record last night. I said I was going to, and then I didn't. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be all right. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Yeah, she's gonna get to Europe from the train station. Yeah, let's open this book. Oh, I bet there's a picture in there of her sister smiling. Oh, there's a letter. Child. Yeah, she's in a book. She's wearing her hat. Capcom! They made this game, by the way. Okay, I think that's saving. Ace Attorney Trilogy. Yeah, so we beat Ace Attorney, and then next week we will start, or next week, on Saturday we'll start up with Ace Attorney Justice for All, and then after that it's Trials and Tribulations. And then I have a DS emulator, so I'll go ahead and I'll do the one that Des told me about of Dual Destinies. That one. Yes, I am going to be streaming more Horizon Zero Dawn tomorrow. Let me go ahead and put up my duty bopper. Oh fuck, I pressed the button. I did not want to press that button. Ah, shit, now everything's gonna show up twice. Don't worry about it. Switching to that. That's the button I meant to press. Thank you so much for being here. This is actually my stream schedule here, in case you're curious. Okay, I started later today because technically usually Tuesday's a dual stream, but every other time is pretty much right. But yeah, thank you everybody for being here and for hanging out.